Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today in my swing studio at Drayton Park Golf Club. I want to follow up from my previous video, so this is a two-part video on stopping your slice. Before we get started, all the social media info you need for us here at the TruGolf Academy is coming along the bottom of the screen right now on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also the website address. So please jump on there. If you don't already follow us on there, please do so, and lots of other info to help your game in 2017 is coming along the bottom of the screen, as I said, on those social media icons. So the first part to this video was trying to change club face. So there's two things when a player is slicing it. Generally, we're getting a path that's going too much out to in to the left of the target, with a club face that's open compared to their path. So they're swinging for a right-handed player, they're swinging too much to the left, with the club face pointing more right than the path is. If they actually got the club face to be in the same position as the path, they would hit the ball straight left, so more of a pull shot. So what I wanted you to do in the first video, and I'll put a link to it in this one, if you haven't checked that one out, do that. It might be worth checking that one out first, coming back to this video as the two-part series. And that was really about releasing the club. And when I talk about releasing it, I'm not trying to release it with my hands and arms, any real flash speed manipulation here. I'm talking about using my chest to rotate through. So what we were looking for, without going too much into detail in it, please check out that other video, as I said, is trying to, on the way through, get the club shaft pointing in the same direction as when I get to just past impact. Okay, so into this position here, trying to get the club shaft in the same direction as my feet line. So I'm not going to get my hands hitting that imaginary wall behind me first, or the club, which would be more of an over release with the hands. So we're trying to get a very neutral release where it's controlled by the chest. And what I explained is if you're swinging from out to in and we release the club correctly, you're going to actually start hitting more pulls, because you're going to find the club face marries more up to the path rather than coming through open. And I'm happy with that initially, hitting the pull. In this video, I want to then go on to the second stage. Once you've got used to releasing with your body, so changing the club face position, I now want you to change the swing path. So we've got to reduce this out to in swing path. Now there's a number of exercises you can do, and I've filmed some previous videos talking about stop coming over the top. But I just want to go on to a simplistic drill, and then a swing thought you can take to the golf course to try and change your path. Like any change, I would try and get you to do it in a swing studio, in the nets, on the driving range, in the practice area, before taking it to the golf course. Try and make yourself a little bit more comfortable with it before taking it to the course, when you've got to worry about score and conditions and everything else. So we're trying to change the path, and we're trying to encourage the swing path to be more in to out. So it's going to be the feeling of swinging more to the right of the target. What actually should be happening is the club should be swinging to the right until it approaches the golf ball, and then it should be swinging to the left again. So it's the bit you feel before you hit the golf ball. We don't want the club actually finishing over here, because again, then I haven't released it correctly with my chest. But it's definitely the feeling that the club is swinging more to the right of the target. So the exercise I'm going to get you to do is actually, and I'm using a 7-iron here, I'd normally play the ball very central, sort of underneath my sternum. Some people may play that ball a little bit more forwards. That's absolutely fine. What I want you to do in this drill is actually play the ball way back in your stance, as if you're hitting a low punch shot. So you're going to play the ball way back near your trail heel. So for me, my right foot. And from there, I'm really trying to get the feeling that in a normal backswing, I then loop the club to swing more to the right of the target. What I've simply done is just put a tour stick down, and I've also got the white line on my simulator screen here. I'm just trying to get the feeling that I'm swinging more to the right of that. Some people like a clock face analogy, so if that was 12 noon, I'm just going to get the feeling of swinging to sort of 1 or 2 p.m, or if you prefer the minute timer, 10 past. So I'm just trying to get that feeling of swinging a little bit more right of target. but making a normal backswing. What most people will do is to try and move the club more inside to be able to achieve that. So what I actually want you to do is go ahead and make a normal backswing. We're trying to change the downswing route, the downswing path, to be much more into out. And I want you to over-exaggerate it. The reason for playing the ball back in our stance is it will help us swing more to the right. So we should be able to exaggerate it more with the ball back. You can hopefully just make out the white line on the mat here that's on a slight arc. So I've got the ball at the middle, at the minute, in the middle of that arc. If I move the ball back, the arc would actually be going more to the right of the target. So it's going to encourage that path to be going more into out when I move the ball back. So I'm going to go ahead and hit a couple. I want you to see these on the screen as well. So I'll just click on the keyboard so you can see the flight. And I'm really trying to hit a ball flight that starts right and bends left. I don't mind if it overbends, finishing left of target. I don't mind how far right it starts. I want to be able to actually over-exaggerate it, especially if you are a fade, a slicer. You really want to see a ball flight that does the opposite, that starts right and bends left for a right-handed golfer. So more of a draw or a hook. So ball way back in the stance, normal grip, normal alignment. I'm not going to try and close my stance. I'm just moving the ball back. I'm going to try and make a normal backswing, but I'm going to really try and reroute the club as if I'm swinging out to the right of the target. Again, it's a feeling of what happens before impact, because actually with that correct release, with that rotation of the chest towards the target, the club will be swinging in to square to in. But that feeling before I hit the golf ball is that the club is travelling more to that 1 or 2 p.m. on the clock face. Let's give it a whirl. So you can see a ball flight that started right of target, bent left. It actually finished pretty good. It finished pretty much on target, but I don't mind if that ball overbends and finishes more left of target. So what you'll see on the screen there is we've got a swing path really exaggerated. That's what I want to be able to do. You're going to find it hard to do that initially. If you're a fader slicer, if you're out to win, you'll probably just start off being less out to win. But really try and encourage that path to go more to the right. I don't mind initially if we're actually hitting blocks. So a ball flight that starts right of golf, right of target for a right-handed player and stays there. It just means the club face is in the same position as the path. What you can actually see is my swing path really exaggerated, 11 degrees into out. I wouldn't worry about the angle of attack. It is going to be steeper than it normally would be because I move the ball back in my stance. That's had an effect on the dynamic loft on the golf club. But you can see a path that's very much into out. The reason this one actually was a nice draw is the club face was about halfway between the target and my swing path. So we got the ball starting right, bending left to target. But you can actually see some really good figures, some really good data there. That's what I want you to start with doing, is really getting that feeling of exaggerating the swing path. So we're getting, I'll just do one more, we won't worry about the ball flight. On the main screen on this one, again, ball way back, normal backswing, but trying to get the feeling of swinging right to target, okay, on the way down. So you can see with that one starting a little higher, a little bit more right, not bending as much, but it had the two key things that I wanted. It started right, it bent left. I don't care where it finishes. I definitely got that path again. Same one, 11 degrees to the right. So definitely encouraging that swing path to go that way. What I want you to do in a normal then full shot, once you've got used to that pattern, is move the ball more to the centre of your stance and try and make the same swing. And how you can take that to the golf course eventually is really the thought process of whatever you're aiming at. So I'd always encourage you to start behind the golf ball, pick good intermediate targets. Whatever you're aiming at, your divot, daisy, leaf, twig that's in front of you is your intermediate target. You aim at that, but in your head you feel like you're swinging more to the right of it, more to that 1, 2 p.m. So let's give it a go on a full shot. Remember, it's the feeling of swinging to the right of the target. What actually will be happening is I'm swinging to the right of the target before impact, but my rotation, that release with my body, is actually going to help me square the club face and produce this in to square to in path. So I'm just going to get that feeling of swinging 1-2 p.m. So got the desired flight we were looking for, a ball flight that started right of target. Bent left, it finished a little too much to the left, so the club face may have been too square or a little bit closed. Let's have a quick peek. Yes, I mean, exactly what I was trying to achieve. I got a swing path 4 degrees to the right. I just had the club face a little bit closed. Ideally, instead of that 1.8 close, that would have been 1.8 open, and that ball flight would have started right and drawn back, not crossing the target line. But really, if you're a fader, if you're a slicer of the golf ball, seeing a ball flight initially that is starting right, bending left, you're going to be over the moon, rather than seeing that ball flight that's either a pull or a fade or a slice. Give those exercises, or that exercise, a go of moving the ball back in your stance. Once you've got used to that and you can start to produce that right to left draw hook ball flight for a right-handed golfer, then move the ball to the center and try some again, getting that encouraging feeling of swinging more to sort of 1-2 p.m, but after making a normal backswing. Let us know how you get on. If you enjoyed the content of this video, give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you check out the other part, this 2-part video about how to release the golf club with your chest, with your rotation, the pivot, rather than with the hands and the arms. As I said, the social media info you need for us is coming along the bottom of the screen as well, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.